If you knew you were going to die tomorrow, what would you do differently today? Would you still go to work? Would you still care about that argument you had with someone? Would you still spend hours comparing your life to others, scrolling through Instagram? Would you still worry about what people think of you? Would you still chase the money, the degree, the promotion, the house, the status? Or would you suddenly realize, wait, maybe I have been spending my life on things that don't actually matter to me at all? You seriously don't know when you are going to die. Life doesn't come with guarantees, right? Every day, hundreds of thousands of people around the world die. Some die old, some die due to sickness, some die in accidents, some die unexpectedly young, and some were probably making plans for the next week, just like we are making plans for what to do next week, and then we hear that sad news about their death. That is what makes death so disturbing. It doesn't ask whether you are ready. It doesn't care whether you have achieved your goals. It doesn't care whether you finally became successful. One day, you simply run out of time. And that's when a question begins to haunt us. If I'm going to die anyway, what's the point of all this grinding and achieving? Why am I working so hard? Why am I studying? Why am I building a career? Why am I trying to become successful? Why am I chasing money? Why am I trying to impress people? Why am I doing any of this if one day I'm going to disappear anyway? And maybe you have thought about this too. I sometimes think about this too. Maybe you have even imagined a completely different life. Leaving the city, leaving the rat race, going somewhere in the mountains, living a simple life, no deadlines, no competition, no social media, no pressure, just peace. And honestly, that sounds pretty good sometimes. But here's where things get interesting. Because maybe the problem isn't that life is too difficult. Maybe the problem is that we are living it without consciously choosing what our life is actually for. Think about your life right now. You probably have a timeline in your head: school, college, career, money, marriage, family, house, retirement. And somehow we have turned life into a checklist. At 18, you are supposed to know what you are doing. At 21, you are supposed to graduate. In your 20s, you are supposed to build a career. Then you are supposed to get married, then buy a house, then raise children, then work for decades, then retire, and eventually die. But who decided this was the correct way to live? And more importantly, did you decide that? Or did you simply inherit the plan from your parents or grandparents? Because that's one of the most dangerous things about life. You can spend 20 or 30 years climbing a ladder only to discover that the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. You can become successful without ever asking whether the life you are succeeding at is actually your life. Maybe you are not chasing your dream. Maybe you are chasing your parents' dream for you. Maybe you are not trying to become rich because you genuinely want wealth. Maybe you are trying to become rich because you have been taught that money equals respect. Maybe you don't actually want status. Maybe you just don't want to feel inferior. Maybe you don't want that particular career. Maybe you just want everyone around you to say, "He is doing well." And that's a very strange thing if you really think about it. So maybe the question isn't, what is the purpose of life? Maybe the question you should ask yourself is, whose life am I actually living? I came across 3 philosophies that I'm gonna discuss here which actually make sense to me. The first comes from Jean-Paul Sartre. Existence precedes essence. I discussed it in this video. You can check it out. Sartre said, "You are not born with a predefined purpose. You exist first, and then through your choices, you create who you become." Think about it. You weren't born with a label saying your purpose is to become a doctor, or your purpose is to become a businessman, or your purpose is to make your parents proud. Those are things society gives you. Sartre's idea is that you have to create your own meaning through the way you live your life. And that's both terrifying and liberating, because if there is no predetermined script, then you have to write one. Nobody can do it for you. So, if you want to delve deep into Sartre's philosophy of life, which actually makes sense to me and maybe you too, you can check out this video. I will put the link in the description box. But then another philosopher comes along and makes the problem even more uncomfortable. Albert Camus. Camus basically says, what if life doesn't have any ultimate meaning at all? Think about what we want from the universe. We want the life to be fair, but life isn't always fair. We all know that. Most of the time, life is unfair. We want good people to be rewarded, but good people suffer. We want bad people to be punished, but sometimes they aren't. We want our lives to last, but we die. We want certainty, but life is full of randomness. And that's the conflict Camus called the absurd. We are human beings desperately looking for meaning inside a universe that doesn't appear to give us any answers. And Camus takes this idea to an extreme. He tells us the story of Sisyphus. According to Greek mythology, Sisyphus was condemned to push a massive boulder up a mountain, only for it to roll back down every single time. And then he had to do it again and again and again, forever. He pushed the rock and it fell again. Think about our life. No finish line, no promotion, no reward, no escape. Just the same struggle repeating itself. Wake up, work, eat, pay bills, sleep, repeat, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, same problems, different day. And eventually you die one day. So what does Camus say? He said something incredibly strange. We must imagine Sisyphus happy. Why? Because Sisyphus knows the truth. He knows the rock will fall. He knows there is no final victory. And yet he pushes it anyway. That's the rebellion. He doesn't need the universe to tell him that his effort matters. He chooses to live anyway. And perhaps that's one of the most powerful ideas in philosophy of life. Maybe meaning isn't something you discover at the end of your life. Maybe meaning is something you create while living it. But then we have the Stoics, and they give us a completely different answer. Marcus Aurelius didn't say, life has no meaning, so do whatever you want. Instead, he essentially asked, what is your responsibility? If you are a student, study. If you are a parent, raise your children responsibly. If you are a leader, lead ethically. If you are a friend, be a good friend. If you are a creator, create something worthwhile. Do your job, do it well, be disciplined, be courageous, be just, be wise. And then let go of the things you cannot control. Because here's something we often get wrong. We think the goal of the life is to control the outcome. Get rich, become successful, find the perfect partner, build the perfect body, get everyone to respect you. But you can't control any of those things completely. You can work hard and still fail. You can love someone and still lose them. You can take care of your health and still get sick. You can build something for 20 years and watch it disappear. The Stoic answer is that's okay. Your responsibility is not to control the world. Your responsibility is to control how you meet the world. And now we can come back to the original question: what is the purpose of life? Maybe there isn't one universal answer. Maybe there is no hidden sentence written somewhere in the universe saying, this is why you were born. And honestly, I think that's okay. Because perhaps purpose isn't something waiting to be found. Perhaps purpose is something you build. You build it through the people you love, through the work you choose to do, through the problems you are willing to solve, through the things you are willing to sacrifice for, through the experiences you decide are worth having, through the person you decide to become. And here's where death becomes important. Because if you live forever, would anything really matter? Imagine knowing that you are immortal and have unlimited time. You could postpone everything. You could say, I will do it tomorrow. And tomorrow would never run out. You could fail 1,000 times. You could try again. You could wait another 100 years before telling someone you love them. You can spend 50 years deciding what career you want. Nothing would be urgent. Nothing would feel precious. But we don't have infinite time. We have limited number of mornings. We have limited number of birthdays, a limited number of conversations with our parents, a limited number of dinners with our partner, a limited number of sunsets, a limited number of ordinary days that we don't realize are ordinary for the last time. That's what death gives life, a boundary, and boundary creates value. A song doesn't become meaningless because it ends. A movie doesn't become pointless because the credits eventually roll. A sunset doesn't become worthless because it disappears. And your life doesn't become meaningless because it has to end one day. Its ending is part of what makes it matter. So maybe the real problem isn't that we are going to die one day. Maybe the real problem is we are going to die without ever having lived deliberately. Imagine reaching the end of your life and realizing, I spent my entire life trying to impress people I didn't even like. I spent my best years chasing money I never had time to enjoy. I became successful at a life I never actually wanted. I was so afraid of failing that I never really tried. That, to me, is a much scarier thought than death itself. Because death is unavoidable, but living someone else's life isn't unavoidable. You can choose to create your own life every time. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by life, don't immediately ask, how do I escape? Ask, what am I actually trying to build? And when you feel exhausted by the race, ask, is this race even mine? When you feel jealous of someone else's success, ask, do I actually want what they have? And when you are terrified because you don't know what your purpose is, remember, you don't have to figure out your entire life today. You just have to decide what is worth giving your limited time to. Because your time is the one thing you can never earn back. Never. Money can return, opportunities can return, careers can change, relationships can begin again. But yesterday, you will never get yesterday back. So don't waste your entire life trying to make your life look meaningful to other people. Build a life that feels meaningful when you are alone with yourself. A life where you can look back and say, I chose this. I love these people. I tried, I failed, I learned, I created something, I experienced something, I was here. And maybe that's enough. Maybe the purpose of life isn't to discover some grand cosmic answer. Maybe it's simply to live consciously while you are here. To love while you can, to create while you can, to learn while you can, to help while you can, to experience this strange temporary existence while it is still yours. Because, yes, we are all going to die one day. But that isn't an argument against life, it is an argument for it. So don't ask only what is the purpose of my life. Ask something much harder. Knowing that my time is limited, what kind of life would I be proud to have lived? Then start building that life. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now. Because the clock is already running. And none of us knows exactly how much time is left.